So this is like a snapshot of my day. So what you want to do is to pull out the things that you want to have in your journey map. So I'm actually going to take a lot of these, so I think I'm just going to number them. And this is going to be start here, and this is going to be finish. Okay, so bed is finish, and waking up and getting out of bed is start for my journey. And then I'm just going to number the things that I want to include. So I want to have wake up, feed cats, yoga. Those two could go together. Maybe shower I could show, don't have to. Definitely want coffee in there though, breakfast. Possibly transport, I think that's important, and the things that I see on the way. And then maybe something showing me teaching, could be my number 6. So now I know what I want to illustrate and how many boxes I need. So based on your research of game board designs, depending which one you chose. So let's say my one was inspired by that spiral that I liked. That kind of went around like this. You could trace it, but I'd rather you just try and draw a shape that makes a nice board game. Okay, so there's my finish, there's my start. And then I'm just gonna have a look, feed the cats. Well, how could I show that? I think I'll just show it simply with the food bowl. And in the morning breakfast, it is dry food. So I'll show you that it's dry food. They're like pellets. I could draw my cat. I'm gonna put in 2 bowls. We don't usually have them as close together though, otherwise the greedy boy will eat the girl's food. Now I could draw my cats out here. It's totally okay to bring drawings outside. I'll just do obviously not an accurate one. You can work from images if you want to get it more accurate, or it could be more cartoony. So I could bring key characters outside my board game or my journey. So then we have yoga and meditation. So I could show a yoga pose, or I could show myself in meditation. So for meditation, I'm usually sitting up, and that's at the end of my yoga. Okay. You don't have to draw full faces or anything unless you wanted to. And you can have your drawings coming outside. See how my head is coming outside of the frame? Totally okay, because this is a creative journey. It's a creative map. My next one is coffee and breakfast. So I'm going to draw a nice big coffee cup. I could do my coffee cup. I could do the percolator because we do it like a plunger coffee. That could come out. There's the steam. I like it when it's hot. You could even put the designs that are on your mug so it's personal, because it's your journey. Okay. And this is actually a really fun way to document when you do travel. This is a great way to document a day in your travels or what you noticed. I've seen ones where it's done, the start is you're leaving home, and then it's your journey on the way to the airport and arriving to your destination. So there's so many different ways that you could do this. I quite like the illustrations coming out of the boxes. What else do I have? Oh, we'd be scooting, so I go with Mr. Jardin for that, so I could draw the helmet. It's funny, it's kind of like a bike helmet. He's coming out, but I'm behind, watching the traffic, making sure we're not going to get in an accident. Okay, so we have a range of materials that we can use. We will focus on watercolors. Of course, if you're at home, you can just use colored pencils. I have those as well. If you have watercolor pencils, just check on the end. These ones are not ones, but if they have a paintbrush on them, in class they're a bit mixed up, but you may find some with a paintbrush on them. That means they are watercolor pencils. But we have watercolor blocks. Okay, so we're going to use it all. So we've got watercolor blocks, we have salt, okay, we have ink, which you might want in the background, and tubes. Okay, so what we're going to do, we also have water. We have a spray bottle is handy, and a paper towel is good for your brush. Okay, I've also got these colors. Okay, and for the tubes, we have palettes, and we also have a palette for mixing. So let's begin. I'm going to start with a yellow watercolor. Just give it a little bit of a shake. Squeeze it out there. You don't need very much. You can also bring this here, dip, and bring your paint. So you get a nice consistency of color. Okay. All right, let's take some ink. And so cool. Love this. Just, I'm drawing, I'm not even squeezing, just let that do its thing. And I could also bring this salt and pinch with it. If you get this, what you can do is grab a paper towel and carefully pick it up and just dip, dip, tap, tap, tap. Okay, wow. We could also scratch like this, and you could press, 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 like clouds. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, you can use the tube paints, you can use the block paints, we also have iridescent paints. I'm going to use a smaller brush. We want to just pick up lots of pigment. Just paint on top. Now I've dried this with a hairdryer, and I'm just going to paint my boxes. Let's make it just a little bit more runny. Okay. And you want it to be transparent. And what we're doing is we're just painting the backgrounds. You can use a small brush, hold it closer to the edge when you want to get nice straight lines. Okay, like that. You can use clean water, and you can soften it as well. All right, so I'm going to make a pattern for the background. Okay, I've dried this. So we're at a point now where it's pretty dry, so we can actually rub off the salt. I'd recommend doing this over a bin, and you can do this with a rough brush, or a ruler is really good. So you can use your fingers. Just check it says number 5. And now I can come in and I'm going to draw the things that I actually wanted, but maybe a little better. And we could add a little water on the edge just so that it runs. Like this. And then what we can do is come in with the stick and actually draw in a little bit more of your edge. Okay, and that's going to really make things stand out. Notice the difference between this, which has no water, and this that has water. So if you want your ink to run, you need to brush clean water. Okay, so if you want it to run, we need to brush clean water down first. Then you can get this. Use the tip, be careful, it doesn't drip, and then run it around. Okay, and then see the difference when you don't have water. So you've got thin and thick. If you do that and you decide, oh, I don't like it, as long as it is wet, you can very carefully come in like this and just tap as well, but you have to be fairly careful. So you can paint with your inks. If you make a mistake, just add water and lift with the paper towel. All right, so you've seen 2 sections finished, and for your journey, you would continue around to tell your story. So that is what our journey map is. Include lots of words. It might be, you might get a pen and you might write things on it about what you saw or smelt or ate. So really kind of make it quite personal. And if it was about someone else, then it might be years of birth, different places where they lived, maybe obstacles or roadblocks that they hit or why they did or didn't succeed. So it'd be really cool to do this for another person as well.